So you want to build a giant piston elevator? I got it. We're going to go through every step. Enjoy. All right, y'all. Recently in Minecraft, we've been playing on a server with a bunch of our friends. Thanks to Amy for getting it set up and pushing people to jump on and play. It has been an absolute blast. That being said, we kind of did everything. I killed a warden. We killed the ender dragon. I took care of a wither. Did all that stuff. Fully netherited out, and it got to the point where I needed something to do. Recently built a piston door. That thing was pretty crazy. That took a couple of days and learning a lot of the ways that flying machines in Minecraft work. I'd never worked with them before. I learned how observers and all that stuff worked by utilizing some other YouTubers' videos, just kind of watching those, and a lot of trial and error, to be honest. And we built a 6x20 super giant door.
That's what she said.
That took, like I said, a couple days. Then I decided to build an elevator because why not, right? So in front of me is a 10x10. It can be infinite height depending on how dedicated you are. Flying machine driven piston door. We're going to walk through the entire thing. It is, I just want to give a heads up. It's a little dirtier than the piston door was, but it 100% works. Don't judge me for anything that doesn't necessarily operate right. I tried to build it as fast as possible. I will say there's probably some stuff in here I can clean up, make a little better revised and more compact. But to get the job done, we'll say, kind of works like a charm. As you can see, it's using the same flying machine piston design as before. For anybody that doesn't know how those work, they're pretty much an observer and a sticky piston facing opposite direction of a counter observer and sticky piston. And once you start it, they don't stop. They keep on going unless you have certain things in the way. In this case, at the bottom, we've got droppers, and we'll show you why those are important. And at the top, all the way up there, you see we have rows of obsidian, because obsidian cannot be pushed by pistons. It acts as a stopper. They also don't stick to it. So at least in this case, because of the way that see this little line right here, this kind of the buffer where things stop. Because of that, we have a fully functioning flying machine driven piston elevator. Now, there are 4 ways that this needs to work, and we're going to go to the top to talk about them all. The first and second is the elevator is at your floor, and you need to send it to the floor you want to go to. The other 2 ways is the elevator is not at your floor and you need to bring it to you. All 4 of those use cases work in this the example. And if you'd like to get some hands-on time with it, do yourself a favor. In the description down below the video is going to be this save file. So if you want to jump in and mess around with it yourself and see how everything works, because there is a lot of superfluous stuff here. I didn't have time to clean out all the the lava for effect and all the glazed gray glazed terracotta. That's all there because all that whole surface needs to be non-sticky blocks. So terracotta looks the coolest. You can do patterns. You can do all sorts of crazy stuff. I actually was thinking about making this a spiral of different colors all the way down because I think it would look pretty cool. But we're going to start at the top real quick with just how the trigger works. Top and bottom are basically designed the same way, just a little different configuration. But you push the button, it's going to send power to this piston, not sticky, but it's going to go down, and this observer block is going to see 2 status changes back to back of this block because the piston is going to go in and out. It then sends power to this piston, which does the same thing, but in this case, it is a sticky because we needed to go to move forward and backward to send signal to this redstone in a burst, not like a long duration, because it can cause some problems if it does. So the power goes across. Ignore this one for now. Power goes across both sides to the repeater. It would not have reached the 15 blocks of redstone. So I had to put repeaters in, which is totally fine because they're set to instant. It's just going to push stronger signal across. And in this case, when it was up here, which I'll bring it back up to show exactly how that's working, these blocks all get signal across them, as does the other side over here. And that is going to start the piston process of the elevator moving down. This is very straightforward, shouldn't be overly complicated for anybody that has looked at any other redstone videos, or if you're starting out or anything like that. Just keep in mind that the positioning of the redstone that's getting signal relative to the piston that it matters most for getting power, the redstone is on top of the block adjacent to the piston. That is how it sends power. So if you're not getting power to it, if you're building this on your own, whatever you're ending up doing, that is a super important detail, is that because I even struggle with that a little bit. See how this piston right here, this power is going to this piston, which is starting the process of all this stuff going down. And that's how the entire thing is gonna kick off, basically. So like I said, we're up top, we push the button, all that stuff's gonna engage, and these pistons are gonna start going down. Boom. Those guys go bye-bye, he's flying away. The other thing that happens is somehow we need to get power down to the bottom and back up to the top from underneath. And that is why the sides are exposed. I'm going to show you both sides over here. Both sides do this. And what's happening is not only is this repeater sending signal to those pistons along the top, but it's putting power here inside this dropper. And this entire chain of observer blocks all the way down, they are all getting status changes from each other. They get to the bottom, and they send this piston right here is a sticky. It's going to push this observer down and back up, which is going to send power very delayed for the purposes of timing to this guy. And he's going to send power to these guys. It's going to get blocked because this repeater is going this way, going to the right. But power is going to go through these target blocks, transmitted to these droppers. The observers are going to see that, and that's the way that it kicks it back up to the top. I have to go on both sides because this repeater is necessary for getting power along this line when you're calling it back up. And because this is longer than 15, I had to put those in place. But if that's the case and power can't go back the other way, then this repeater needs to go this way, and this is the power chain from up top for this side, and the same thing can be said for the other side. The one, the observers, the arrows going down, are there to send power to the bottom pistons if you're at the top and you have to call the elevator back up. Now, if you're at the bottom, it's basically the same process as what was up top. You hit the button right here. It's going to engage this piston out. And in this case, there's two observers watching. This guy gets power here. He sends it through to this dropper, chains across. This piston, sticky piston, engages, grabs this guy and pulls him up and down. And he sends signal across these, goes across these redstone lines, target blocks to the droppers. The observers see it and send power up. So the bottom chain is how power is sent to the elevator if it is at the bottom and you are at the bottom. Now, if it is at the, I'm going to push it. So that's going to go down and those guys start going up. Hi, elevator. Now, if it is at the top and you want it to come down, the same process happens. This piston engages. This observer is watching it. It sends signal across here to this sticky piston, which then pushes this observer out and back, and he's going to send a signal burst to the top, which then runs the line back the same way that it did if you were at the top. I'll go up at the top and show you. So the signal is going up these. The elevator's still going up. He gets to the top. This piston engages, which this observer sees right here. See? He sends power into this redstone, which then hits that guy and goes across all the way over here and hits that guy, and then sends power through those sticky pistons inside on the right and left, the outside walls. And that is how power gets from the bottom back up to the top. Takes a second, but he's on his way. So there you go. It's not quite done. I would say in this form, it's functional and complete. It works like a charm. No problems. You do get a little bit. You see even a little bit of server lag. So there's stuff that is see, it's there. It's moving a lot of blocks a long way. And this is fully extensible as tall as you want it to be. You can make a skyscraper out of this thing. And put it at the center and make like a super tower with a giant elevator in the middle to get you to wherever. But for base functionality of a 10x10 flying machine, piston-driven elevator, works like a charm. No problems here. I will say, though, if you're playing on a server that maybe has some latency issues while it's on its way up, try not to move around too much. because I've gotten it to where I've fallen through the bottom, and if you're not on creative, that's going to be real bad. But without that, the potential risk of death, it works great. So do yourself a favor. Check the description down below the video. Grab the save file if you want to mess around with the 10x10 piston elevator. Thank you so much for watching. Do me a favor, hit the like button, and I hope you enjoyed these as best I could instructional videos for stuff that I've just been learning on the fly while we've been playing Minecraft and building some silly, complicated flying machine devices. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Use code DrLupo. Use code